Deep breaths, Gale. Hold it together.
My condition is worsening again. I need to consume some powerful magic or it may become volatile.
Go ahead, take it.
Thank you. It is a strange experience. Each time anew, like a lost soul is spelunking through the darkness that is me, only to be sacrificed on the dread altar of the heart. Somehow the second artifact hasn't had the effect of the first. It's somewhat relieved the discomfort, but I fear my hunger hasn't quite...
Are you all right? Is there anything I can do to help you?
You do plenty for me, more than you realize. But this cannot be remedied. The magic isn't having the effect it should have. It's not like the last time, like a rainstorm that quells a forest fire. It merely drizzles. The embers still sizzle, the fire remains undefeated. I'm not certain what's going on, but nothing good. Please, I need to think. I need to retrace my steps to a glade of calm and think. Thank you for the artifact. A great deal of trouble it was too. A great deal of trouble indeed.
Pretty.
Oh. My, you startled me. Was miles away.
I know that look. You were praying to your goddess, weren't you?
So I was. Praying she'd aid me. Mistra, for indeed it was her image I conjured, commands all magic. Salvation, if such a thing exists, is hers to bestow or withhold. And yet even now, more than I fear losing my own self and soul, I fear losing my command of her art. Magic is my life. I've been in touch with the weave for as long as I can remember. There's nothing like it. It's like music, poetry, physical beauty, all rolled into one and given expression through the senses. Would you like to experience this?
Magic normally comes to me through prayer, but I don't mind trying.
Then follow my lead. Now you.
You feel something strange, like a kind word and a kind touch at the same time. It's warm and comfortable.
Excellent. Now, repeat after me. Athran Mistraril Kantrak Eo.
Athran Mistraril Kantrak Eo.
Suddenly, the scent of rosewater and a sense of well-being. A sliver of weave that tastes sweet on the tongue.
Very good. Now, I want you to picture in your mind the concept of harmony, as true as you can.
You picture your mother, the smell of mushroom cookies, father making fun of the Underdark cuisine. You see, or is it sense, the presence of a woman, the woman who hovered over Gale's palm. There's something like the anticipation of a kiss, then the pleasure of being cloaked in peace. You are safe. You are nestled in the cup of Mistra's hand.
You did it! You're channeling the weave. How does it feel?
It's different, but I can definitely feel a divine kind of presence.
Quite so.
The weave is a sensitive conduit.
The weave connects you. The moment feels intimate. You realize the weave is making you one. You have but to imagine your desire, and Gale will know it. You picture kissing him softly and tenderly.
I didn't think.
You perceive quick-fire gusts of embarrassment, trepidation, and finally, elation.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting. But it is a pleasant image, to be sure. Most pleasant, in fact. Most welcome.
The weave evaporates, and as it does so, you realize the night feels suddenly cold and lonesome.
Oh. There it goes. How easily things slip away from us, no matter how hard they were in the obtaining. Good night. I enjoyed sharing a moment of magic with you. Tell me, what can I do for you?
I never realized it was so easy to cast magic.
I assure you it's not. Don't get me wrong, you did well. The somatic component, the verbal component, even the focus on the inner self that invites Mystra in.
But I was still your conduit. To perform such a feat alone requires much and arduous study. Of course, as a cleric, your patron deity endows you with many such powers, otherwise unattainable. I do hope you cherish that gift.
So, what do you think about what I pictured when we were connected by the weave?
Oh, I was surprised, but pleasantly so. Just like I said, amid the madness that has befallen us. It seems almost out of place to think of a kiss. And yet, now more than ever, it's important to recall what makes us human. Well, you know what I mean. A stolen glance, that sudden heartbeat. Sometimes the little things are worth more than kingdoms. They promise things to come.
Karlak, a hypothetical question for you. If someone, not me, of course, detected a hint of romantic interest in them from another unnamed individual, what might that someone do about it?
Whoever it is, just talk to them, Gale, and leave out the hypotheticals.
Talking, right. I'm good at that.
There you are. I was just thinking about you, and that delicious moment we shared the other night.
The moment when you bit me?
The very same. I've had this condition for 2 centuries, but truth be told, you were my first. In all these years, I've only ever fed on beasts. Drinking the blood of thinking creatures is a different thing entirely. You were delectable. And now I can't help but wonder how the others taste.
They might not be as open to the idea as I was.
Alas. It doesn't hurt to ponder the question, though. Take Gale, for example. He strikes me as someone whose blood is rich, refined, like well-aged brandy. But the Gith? What in the hells would she taste like?
Something exotic, surely. An Amnon liqueur.
Oh. Well, that sounds very appealing. I'm almost convinced.
This is still theoretical, right?
Absolutely. A mere thought experiment. So, in the spirit of theoretical questions, if you had to take a bite from one of them, who would it be?
Gale, no question.
Ah, a refined palate. I can't disagree. Although, the more I think on it, the hungrier I get. I better go find something I can actually get my teeth into.
Good hunting.
There's nothing that tasty lurking out in the woods, but I'll make do. Sweet dreams.
Do you remember that note we found about something being hidden in the basement of the apothecary?
Might be worth checking.
Speak your name.
A magic mirror. A primitive contraption, but not without its use. The magic is old and wavering, but you recognize it. The mirror is a thinking lock, hiding some secret. The face is crafted to be pleasing, but the personality is just a reflection of the wizard that created it.
Speak your name.
You do your best to wipe the dirt from your face and look presentable. Adventuring is murder on one's wardrobe, though.
Gale of Waterdeep.
I do not know this name. If you are known to my master, step forward and declare yourself an ally.
Yes, an ally. I'm an ally of your master's.
Only a true ally of Ilintoth may pass. What think you of the Zolkir known as Zastan?
You recognize the name, of course. Anyone that knows of the Red Wizards would. Zastam is a powerful lich that rules the land of Thay. He drove many Red Wizards out of their ancestral home.
Actually, Zastam isn't a Zolkir. He rules as High Regent now.
You are no Zolkir. But are you wise? Tell me, why might one use balsam ointment?
Balsam disinfects wounds. Surely everyone knows that.
Acceptable. Finally. If you could see anything in me, what would it be?
I'd see myself in my next incarnation. A living manifestation of Netherese magic. A mythal in my own right.
You seek to survive. You seek power. Be welcome.
A hidden laboratory full of abandoned experiments. Color me in my element.
The book is locked tight with no visible keyhole, only an oval recess in the cover's mouth. You try to examine the book, but the longer you stare, the more those piercing amethyst eyes draw you in. You've seen similar books in wizards' libraries. A tome on Thayan magic, a rare and expensive find. But people have gone mad reading less dangerous texts.
Please don't open the creepy book.
We surely shouldn't leave such a threat out, where anyone could stumble across it.
Take it.
My pleasure. Thank you for letting me take this book. The magic that curls through its pages is truly remarkable.
Struggling more with every moment. My condition likes being ignored as little as I do. I must consume another artifact. And soon.
Go ahead. Take it.
Thank you. Good gods. It hardly has any effect. Oh, Mistra, have mercy on us all. Listen, I need to speak to you, to all of you. It would be unconscionable of me to remain silent.
There's no need. I trust you, Gale.
I appreciate it greatly, but I can no longer keep you in the dark. You have to know who I was. You have to know who I really am. What I am is a walking shadow of the promise I once held. I'm what one might call a wizard prodigy. Who from an early age could not only control the weave, but compose it. Much like a musician, or a poet. Such was my skill that it earned me the attention of the mother of magic herself, the Lady of Mysteries, the goddess Mystra. She revealed herself to me and she became my teacher. In time, she became my muse, and later even my lover.
Few would dare to reduce a goddess to their muse.
I am, after all, the villain of the tale. We enjoyed each other's company. Body, mind, and soul. But even so, I desired more. You see, no matter how powerful a wizard we mortals can become, we never scratch more than the surface of the weave. Mystra keeps us in check. There are boundaries she doesn't let us cross, yet every time I was with her, I stood on the precipice, gazing into the wonders that lay beyond. I sought to cross her boundaries.
How exactly did you try to cross those boundaries?
I tried to convince her. I pouted. I pleaded. Swore my ambition was only to serve her better. She only smiled and told me to be contented. But inconceivable as it seems to me now, I shared a bed with a goddess, and yet I wasn't satisfied. So I sought to prove myself worthy to her instead. We come now to the crux of my folly. Shall I share the story behind it, or would you rather head straight to its sordid finale?
I'm intrigued. Tell me all.
Very well. Here goes. Once upon a very long time ago, a mighty lord lived in a tower. A flying tower, to be precise. I'll save his history for another time, but the gist of it is that he sought to usurp the goddess of magic so that he could become a god himself. He almost managed, but not quite, and his entire empire, Netheril, came crashing down around him as he turned to stone. The magic that was unleashed that day was phenomenal, roiling like the prime chaos that outdates creation. Even the weave itself could not withstand the onslaught. It fractured, then shattered, and all magic was lost to the mortal realms, until the day Mystra returned. She restored the weave, reuniting all its scattered shards. Or so I thought. Until, in the course of my studies, I learned of a book. A Netherese tome in which a piece of the fractured weave had been sealed beyond her reach. What if, I thought, what if, after all this time, I could return this lost part of herself to the goddess?
I guess you ruled out flowers and chocolates altogether then.
You know me. My gestures can never be grand enough. I was certain that this deed of raw power, draped in romance, would convince Mystra to take me by the hand and welcome me into her hitherto forbidden domains. I was mistaken. I obtained the fabled book and took it into my study. As for what happened next, here, place your hand over my heart. Let me show you.
You feel the tadpole quiver as you realize Gale is letting you in, into the dark. You see through Gale's eyes, staring down the corridors of a dread memory. A book, bound, then suddenly opened. Inside there are no pages, only a swirling mass of blackest weave that pounces. Its teeth, its claws, it's unstoppable as it digs through and becomes part of you. And gods, is it ever hungry.
How are you still alive?
Thankfully, the moment I absorbed the fragment wasn't enough to kill me outright. It was only the beginning. This Netherese blight, this orb, for lack of a better word, is balled up inside my chest. And it needs to be fed. As long as I absorb traces of the weave from potent enough sources, it remains quiet. Were it ever to fully destabilize, however.
You will die.
Rather worse, actually. I will erupt. I don't know the exact magnitude of the eruption, but given my studies of Netherese magic, I'd say even a fragment as small as the one I carry, it'd level a city the size of Waterdeep.
I thought we were growing closer, Gale. You should have told me right away.
I know. All of this. It must feel like a betrayal. Say the word, and we'll part ways.
I would hear what the others say first.
Gale's one of us, and we should stand by his side.
Absolutely. We're all risky in our own ways. We stick together anyway, right?
I care too much about you to abandon you now, Gale. We travel on together.
That is a great relief. Oh, a great relief indeed. You truly are a soul that steals my own. From all my new rallied heart, I thank you. I thank you all. I understand if you stand against me. I'm humbled if you stand with me. Either way, I will do my best not to let you down. I stand at a precipice, but if you do not give up hope, neither shall I. I'll fight. I'll resist as long as I can. Now, even I am tired of the sound of my own voice. Let us venture forth.
Apart from an overgrowth of moss, the well looks unremarkable. Dry stones line the wall. At the bottom, something gleams in the dappled light. The coin disappears into the darkness, landing with a soft clink.
I wonder what we can find down there.
Impressive webbing, though I should probably worry about its creators.
If not over, then through.
Those webs are huge. Tread lightly, or become dinner.
Well met. I am a magical projection of Gale of Waterdeep, and if you see this manifestation, that means I have prematurely perished. However, for reasons that cannot be disclosed, it is of vital importance that my death be remedied at your earliest convenience. You may rest assured that I do not speak out of self-preservation alone. Many lives depend on my return to the living within the span of 2 days. I trust I've made myself clear.
My god does not yet grant me the ability to perform such a deed.
No need. I have upon my deceased person a magical item that can accomplish my return. But such is the value and rarity that it is protected by a multi-layered security protocol. I will now explain the protocol. Step 1 is to retrieve from my person a pouch I wear over my heart. Next, you must unthread the purple seam that seals it in a counterclockwise fashion. Do not touch any other colored strand. Inside the pouch, you will find a folded letter and a tiny flute. Unfold the letter and note the markings in the top and bottom corners. These are the notes you will need to play. Starting from the bottom right, play the notes in correct order, clockwise this time. Upon completion of the tune, a magma method will appear, which will pose the following question. Iskcha Chisnaga. This is Ignan for what is my name? The answer is Kasitrak Ash. Pronounce the name correctly, and the method will breathe on the letter. Stay clear, because the little scamp can melt metal. Words will now appear on the letter's surface, effectively turning the letter into a scroll of true resurrection. Use it to bring me back to life.
I promise I will do so.
Excellent. Now repeat my instructions back to me, please.
I got it. Seams, notes, names, the lot.
In that case, this will be an easy exercise. Step 1.
Fine. I'll play along. Step 1. Retrieve the pouch.
And next?
I should unthread the scarlet seam in a counterclockwise fashion.
Whoops. I think you meant purple.
The purple seam indeed. You then have access to the letter and the flute. Continue.
I should play the notes, starting at the bottom right corner.
Remember to play them clockwise. And after that,
When a mephit appears, I should say its name. Piasecka-Jarzabek.
correct. But pay attention to the trap part. Ch is back of the throat. And so we have gone through the necessary steps again. Let's hope practice makes perfect in the end. Best of luck with the protocol. May my cold, dead hands soon be refilled with the warmth of life so they can shake yours in gratitude.
The pouch is sealed with differently colored strands of thread. As the purple thread becomes undone, the pouch opens to reveal a letter and flute inside. The page is blank except for 4 letters, one in every corner. D-E-A-D. This is the flute Gale kept on his person. A faint magical aura envelops its wooden surface. The flute awaits with bated breath.
Iskcha cisnaga.
Piasecka-Jarzabek.
Daya zum. Multhamesk. Dinu frantha manthra Gale.
My word, you did it! Oh, it's good to be alive. My hands are still cold, so that handshake will have to wait, but in the meantime, thank you.
You're welcome. And welcome back.
Oh, it's a relief to be back on beautiful Faerun. The dreariness of the fugue plane oppresses one's soul so very quickly. Now, I believe adventure awaits. Or misadventure, perhaps. Shall we?
That protocol of yours, why make it so difficult?
The instructions were easy enough, weren't they? If slightly elaborate.
I find that a healthy amount of theatrics, a voice from the beyond, a magic flute, a friendly, if highly combustible magma mephit, tends to make for a more compelling case. If nothing else, I'm sure I piqued your curiosity.
How far down does it go?
This is a bad idea.
Yes. Doesn't this amethyst remind you of something?
The creepy book.
The book's pull is irresistible. You feel changed, bettered for having opened it. Suddenly, you are capable of anything. Felling mountains, darkening suns, conversing with the dead. Glyphs shift gently before your eyes. Words slip into your mind, onto your lips, forming words you don't understand. And something is trying to reply. The symbols dart beneath your eyes, warping and twisting. Your head throbs, but you almost understand. The world around you is gone. You can only see those glyphs, only hear those voices. You feel claws moving in the shadows. They pull at you, dragging you closer. The glyphs scream, branding your mind with strange runes. You see time rewritten, fate undone, your future thrumming with power. Black strands of weave curl all about you, only to sink as into graves as you try to grab hold. Necromantic spells, tantalizingly powerful, slip away forever. The book snaps closed. You've seen too much. What profane knowledge is now seared inside of you you should never have known.
So, Gale, how is your sad, hopeless pining going?
I'm hardly pining. But a year or more since Mystra cast me aside.
Oh, my dear wizard, I wasn't talking about Mystra.
I admire your courage, Gale.
Thank you. Any particular reason?
Between the orb and the bug, you've got more than your fair share of unwelcome passengers.
What can I say? Mother always taught me to be a gracious host. I do enjoy our conversations. What do you need?
I was wondering about that mighty lord you told me about in your story.
Ah, yes. Karsus. Karsus was perhaps the most powerful wizard that ever lived. The child who would be a god, the elves called him. And he tried. With a spell of his own devising, he endeavored to usurp in one fell swoop the power of the goddess of magic. Mistril, she was called then. Imagine what it must have felt like to be a god, to know yourself, to be untouchable, to be mistaken. As Karsus aimed his spell at her, she began to unravel, and with her, the entire weave. Too late did he realize what he had unleashed. It would have been the end of everything had not Mistril sacrificed herself. The goddess of magic is all magic. By dying, the entire weave was lost, and the spell that challenged a god failed. It was the end of Mistril, the end of Karsus, and the end of an entire civilization. As the child who would be a god was turned to stone, his empire came crashing down around him. The floating cities of Netheril were no more, an event that came to be known as Karsus's folly.
Nothing good ever comes from mortals wanting to be gods.
Loving them has its side effects as well.
So at that moment in time, all magic was gone?
For a spell, Mistril was reborn as Mystra. Upon her return, the weave returned with her. Now, so many centuries later, I try to follow in the footsteps of Karsus. Not to destroy Mystra, but to prove my love for her. I tried to control only a fraction of the magic that was unleashed that fateful day. I merely sought to return one tiny diamond to an imperfect crown. Gale's folly, one might call it. History, repetition. It's the way things go.
If you ever feel the Netherese magic overtaking you, what will you do?
If it should ever come to that, if I ever know I am no longer able to stop it, I will do anything I can to ensure no one but me pays for my mistakes. I will find the remotest place on the surface of Faerun, or perhaps far below in the depths of the Underdark. I will await that death, alone. I promise I will not betray your trust. You kept me by your side despite the menace that I am. If worst comes to worst, I will be long gone before the curtain falls.
So Gale's been walking around this whole time with some sort of magic bomb in his chest. I'm not normally one to begrudge someone their secrets, but that's something I should know.
To think, Gale's had this devastating orb within himself the entire time, and only just mentioned it. Who'd keep a secret like that from his friends? You can't trust anyone these days.